1, 2. Hello, one and all, and welcome to another edition of The Kickout, the final word in professional wrestling. I am your host, the Wizard CZ, and before we get into things, I just want to remind you that we are powered by Lopez Pizza, built by Durham Remodeling, colored by Ryan Allison Tattoo, and protected by Jared Zook of Country Financial. Joining me here on this adventure is my tag team champion partner, Never Wrong, Nick Bull.
What up?
How you feeling, Never Wrong?
Feeling great. Middle of the week here. We've got, as this airs, we've got Dynamite later tonight. We've got the Elimination Chamber this weekend.
We've got the debut of Wrestling with Fitness with me and Zach Takis coming up shortly after this airs.
Absolutely. A lot of big wrestling things going on this week. Hey, the weather broke, so you can actually go outside and not have to have layers of clothing. So as the weather breaks, we get closer and closer to more wrestling. So glad you're here. And I don't know, CZ, what do you want to talk about this week?
Well, you brought something to my attention, and I don't want to dog anybody for what they say, but I kind of want to bring up this discussion and get your thoughts on it. The Undertaker said something about the fans and how they complain about this and that and creative and try and book everything for the WWE. I'm going to read what he wrote, and then we'll just kind of talk about it a little bit here. So he said, I think they put over so much that they actually believe they are the decision makers. It's already better Jay winning the Rumble because you don't know what's going to happen, and that's the thing. Just sit back. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion, and that's what social media does, but don't try and book the shows. And that was courtesy of the Bleacher Report is where I found that. But excuse me, sorry about that. Jeez, I'm dying over here. Not really, but what do you think about that, Nick?
It's a two-way street. I don't think it's different than football fans per se criticizing how a game was called or an acquisition that was made by their team. Maybe we would have done better if we had this person. I think booking things, fans are always going to do that by default because the mind wanders, correct?
Right. Absolutely. I agree with that.
But at the same time, wrestling in the past couple decades has kind of peeled the curtain back and let people behind the scenes. You see it now with the new show on A&E, WWE LFG, Legends and Future Greats, where veterans, retired wrestlers, respected wrestlers are coaching these youngsters on what they need to do better. We would never get to see that before. So we have unprecedented access to events, to shows, to what goes on in the making of things. I think we as fans have been spoiled and kind of expect to have that. Now, being a fan of wrestling, you know that anything can happen, anything can change. So we're all here for the swerve of a story. The Royal Rumble, that was great because no one freaking thought Jey Uso was going to win. We talked about it on here. No one thought Jey Uso was going to win. So the shock and surprise was great. So, yes, is Undertaker right? Yes. Is Undertaker wrong? Yes. He's both because, fan is short for fanatic. Fans are going to go do things. They're going to be in chat rooms, chat groups, start a podcast. Look at us. We're doing it. You're always going to think about what's to come in wrestling, but he's also right when he says, sit back, shut up, and enjoy it. He's trying to get you to enjoy it so you're not hating as much.
Right. And here's the thing. Everybody who watches it is going to play fantasy booker at one point. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if you're a new fan, an old fan, whether you like the product or you hate the product. Everybody's going to fantasy book what they think is going to happen. It's the nature of us as human beings. Excuse me. And then, I agree with you. He's both right and wrong. I mean, I'll shout out our good friend Joe Monroe on the Joe Monroe Show. He always says, shut up and enjoy pro wrestling. And this is one of those scenarios. Shut up and enjoy professional wrestling. But at the same time, the fans have a very valid voice. And while we are not booking the shows in WWE, we're not booking AEW, we have no control over where the story goes. We kind of do at the same time.
Yes and no. Yes and no. And I'll bring up a point here. I want to say, how much better was the story of Cody finishing at 40 after the near riots of fans after he lost at 39?
Oh, completely agree.
People were melting down and crying at 39 when he lost. People were melting down and crying when he won. It was so much better. If the fans had gotten what they wanted a year before, I don't think it would have been as good.
I can agree with that.
So the people putting out this stuff know what they're doing. They're playing with emotions, okay? That's the example I immediately go to. People were irate. Irate after WrestleMania 39 when Seth beat Cody. But it made it all the better a year later when he finished the story at WrestleMania 40 and everybody was happy. So it's a two-way street. You can't have your cake and eat it too. No. It's one of those things where it's wrestling, man. Somebody's going to be always bitching and complaining about something they don't like or whatnot. I think he's just saying, maybe think a little more before we complain as fans, possibly. But yeah, good luck with that. There's a lot of I have problems with that sometimes. But
let me make a counterpoint, though, Nick.
Yeah.
What you're saying, I completely agree. But as a wrestling promoter, you've also got to feel the pulse of the people. The people are going to let you know when they do not like something.
Yes.
Absolutely despise something.
But if you gave the crowd everything they wanted, where's the fun in that?
No, I completely agree. But playing devil's advocate, you've got to feel out the crowd. You got to feel the room.
Sure. And I think it worked out great for WWE with 39-40. I thought 39 was a great Mania, and I love that Roman won. You want to know why? Because everybody thought Cody was going to win. We were shocked. It gave us something to react to. It gave us something to care about. It gave us something to talk about. And that's what's great about wrestling. And that's what we love to do here. So if you're here listening to the Kick Out, that's great. We do have a longer form show called Card Subject to Change. CZ, what is coming up on the next episode of Card Subject to Change?
Well, first, if I can take another moment to plug Wrestling with Fitness, that's coming up at the top of the hour tonight with Zach Takis and myself.
For sure.
We're going to talk about our fitness journeys I almost said every Wednesday. We're going to do it once a month on the last Wednesday of every month. And I'm excited because we're also talking about bringing on some fitness guests. I'm not going to name any names yet, but it's really just a way for Zach and I to hold ourselves accountable and to talk about where we are. And I'm really excited for that. But coming up this weekend, Saturday is one of my favorite shows of the year, besides WrestleMania and the Royal Rumble, and that's the Elimination Chamber. And joining us to review the Elimination Chamber on Sunday is our good friend Austin Bayless from Central Empire Wrestling.
Excellent. Can't wait to get Austin back in the studio, pick his brain just about the wrestling business, what's going on in his wrestling world. And, of course, we'll be breaking down Elimination Chamber. That is coming up on the next episode of Card Subject to Change. This is the Kick Out, our midweek little knowledge of fun and entertainment for you. We hope you have enjoyed it. We are powered by Low Pies Pizza, built by Durham Remodeling, colored by Ryan Allison Tattoo, and protected by Jared Zook of Country Financial. You can find us on socials at The Wizard CZ or at Nick Bull 55. For my co-host, The Wizard CZ, I am never wrong, Nick Bull. This has been the Kick Out, the final word in professional wrestling.
This has been a For Frequency's Sake Podcast Network production. For more great content, subscribe to For Frequency's Sake on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter.